Community boatbuilding has been synonymous with Chesapeake Light Craft since the company's inception in the early 1990s. Starting in the summer of 1994, the Lake Champlain Maritime Museum introduced their teen kayak building and Champlain Discovery programs. They used the Chesapeake kayak, CLC's flagship kayak design. 30 years later, those programs are still going strong, thanks to Nick Patch, the museum's longstanding director of maritime programs. In the boatbuilding program, each student spends 3 weeks building their own kayak. Along with basic woodworking skills, they develop confidence and a sense of accomplishment. Some of those students will choose to take part in the 2-week Champlain Discovery program. There, the fleet of individual kayaks becomes a team as the group progresses north from the museum to the Canadian border. Participants can add wilderness experience, self-sufficiency, and a better understanding of nature to their capabilities. Nick Patch and his staff are truly teaching their student community to build their own adventure. In 1997, Joe Yucha was head of the Alexandria Seaport Foundation's Community Boatbuilding program. That year, he developed the Bevan skiff design to do double duty, instill a love of boatbuilding, and teach the math skills that go with it. A sink-or-swim test of practical mathematics, so to speak. The Bevan skiff drew attention at the 1998 Wooden Boat Show, where dozens of families built and launched boats cut by CLC at Mystic Seaport. CLC has continued to support the mission of the Bevan skiff by offering kits of plywood parts for the full-size boat, as well as our popular scale model kits that have been used in schools nationwide. By the mid-2000s, family boat building had become a mainstay at the Wooden Boat Show. Multiple families would gather to build a sturdy boat over a weekend. To diversify designs in this genre, CLC created the Peace Canoe, which came together quickly and did not require epoxy. This eliminated the problematic long curing times. In the fall of 2011, the entire 5th grade class at Patterson Park Public Charter School in Baltimore, Maryland, built a Peace Canoe. David Foley, CLC's then production manager, volunteered to lead the program in which over 60 students got to measure, saw, hammer, rasp, and sand their way to a finished boat. The project took place on the school's rooftop deck. When the boat was completed, the entire 5th grade enjoyed a launch party at Baltimore's waterfront. In 2012, John Harris designed the Team Dory after seeing a need in the marketplace for a club-oriented rowing boat with capacity for up to 5 adults. Such designs existed then, but John wanted to offer an economical, easy-to-build option. The original Team Dory measured 23 feet, though CLC later designed a second option that was 26 feet long. A team of 3 to 6 volunteers can build the hull in about 50 hours, plus another 2 or 3 weeks of part-time sanding and finishing. Total build time is about 150 hours. The $4,000 cost of a complete kit puts the dory within the reach of a fundraising campaign. In just a few weeks, a group of people could create a fleet of these boats that's ready for training, competition, or adventure. The Great Lakes region is one place where the Team Dory has taken off. In 2013, Michigan Team Rowing in Marinette, Wisconsin got the party started when they borrowed a Team Dory from CLC. Since then, they have built multiple Team Dories and currently gather with area clubs in the warmer months for monthly regattas. Some of CLC's staff recently visited 3 clubs in Wisconsin that built and regularly use their Team Dories. They learned that these rowers loved getting out on the water and were excited to improve their technique. But they made it very clear that it was the friendships they had made on the water that inspired them to keep coming back. In 2014, the Whigby Fishermen's Amateur Rowing Club, located in Yorkshire, England, commissioned CLC to design a stitch and glue version of a traditional 19th century Cornish pilot gig to be used in races against traditional gigs from other clubs around England. No one had ever tried this before, and at 32 feet long, the gig is undoubtedly among the largest quick assembly stitch and glue projects out there. The initial hull assembly takes as little as 3 days. The gig is stitched together upright in a simple building cradle. Then the hull is flipped and the lap stitch seams are bonded with epoxy. A modest amount of fiberglass fabric reinforcement is added below the waterline, while all surfaces are sealed with epoxy. With the addition of laminated rails, the structure is rigid, light, and durable. Today, the Cornish pilot gig is in use at more than 100 rowing clubs worldwide. Most of those clubs are in the UK, though there are now a dozen gig rowing clubs in New England, and another dozen or so scattered around the US. Bodenham Rowing in southern Maine built a CLC Whidbey pilot gig and rows their boat often with an ever-expanding group of rowers thanks to club founder Pete Feeney and his enthusiasm for the sport. This is their Whidbey gig, Merry Meeting, in action during a practice this past July. CLC moved its community boat building source further back in time when John Harris designed the Gislinga, a replica of a 12th century Viking longboat. Gaining inspiration from a recent excavation by the Viking Ship Museum in Denmark, John planned to build the prototype at the Wooden Boat School in his 2020 Stitch and Glue class. But the pandemic intervened, class was canceled, and Gislinga became CLC's COVID project. By the summer of 2021, Gislinga was structurally sound enough for travel and made her way to Maine, so the students in that year's class could continue the construction. She traveled back to CLC's shop where she lingered until the staff finished her in time to make her debut at the 2023 Wooden Boat Show. On land, Gislinga is a work of art. Under her 117 square foot sail, the boat is responsive and swift. This replica is an example of a design that withstands the test of time. The Vikings knew what they were doing when they designed their boats long ago. This is a valuable lesson for groups who want to learn about the origins of boat design and take on the challenge of building their own Gislinga boat. Thank you for joining us on this trip down memory lane celebrating 30 years of community boat building at Chesapeake Light Craft. Whether you're interested in peaceful kayaking, competitive rowing, or historic reenactments, CLC wants to help people of all ages and skill sets to build a community in the shop and on the water, be they enjoying friendly competition or gathering in meetups like this one.